their channel.
4:30 Eastern is your time right now. We are continuing to watch two consecutive bands of showers and storms moving through South Carolina, and once again another radar indicated tornado warning has popped up. Berkeley and Charleston counties. That's till 5 o'clock a.m. What we're looking at is right here, this little couplet. Anytime you see the greens and reds together, we see a little bit of a rotation in the atmosphere. That is why that tornado warning has been issued, so take cover immediately in Berkeley and Charleston County. Also seeing a little bit of a rotation offshore as well, so would not be surprised we have yet another tornado warning that could pop up as morning wears on. Tornado watch in effect for far eastern parts of South Carolina until 6 a.m. Farther to the north, tornado watch in effect until 9 a.m. Full show coming your way at 5 o'clock.
What we know this hour. More than 31,000 customers are without power in South Carolina. That has been the hardest hit state this morning, okay? The southeastern corner of Georgia, nearly 10,000 people without electricity. Charleston, South Carolina, and the state of North Carolina have opened emergency operations centers. The Northeast bracing itself for Elsa's arrival, just now upgraded to tropical storm warnings. Okay, with the new advisory. Power companies, which have been dealing with thousands of power outages from storms over the last 2 days, unrelated to Elsa, are now bringing on extra contractors. And in addition to all the property damage, Elsa has now claimed 4 lives, 3 in the Caribbean and 1 yesterday in Florida. Definitely the hardest part of dealing with these storms. But the storm chugging along, Steph, moving healthy 18 miles per hour.
Yeah, that is for you, and that is quick. So we're going to talk about all the winds associated with here. Of course, Tropical Storm Elsa making landfall in Taylor County, Florida, as a tropical storm. Winds at 65 miles an hour, but now it's racing off to the north and east. Jim was mentioning all those power outages. Look at this. Along the East Coast, we have over 200,000 people without power, some of those in Michigan as well. South Carolina, they're starting to add up, especially right along the coastal areas. That's where you have that stronger wind, right? The wind going over the water, there's less friction than when it's interacting with the trees and the buildings and everything on land. So here's a look at the past 48 hours. And yes, we have seen some hefty totals. Jim was just mentioning nearly a foot in some spots from Elsa. And it is still going to crank out the rain, even though it is going fast. It is still going to crank it out for us. Punta Gorda, 11 inches. Port Charlotte, 10.88 inches. Fort Myers, Gainesville with an asterisk there. That is a daily record for Gainesville. So where is it right now? Winds at 40 miles an hour, just hanging on to tropical storm status. 39-mile-an-hour winds make it a tropical storm. If it goes lower than that, it's no longer a tropical storm. And again, racing off to the northeast at 18 miles an hour, which is the good news. It will be going through and not have a ton of time to put down rain, but it will. Places like Adams Run, South Carolina, there's already trees down there reported. Charleston Airport reporting 47-mile-an-hour winds. And anywhere from Columbia, I-20 east to Florence, you're getting in on that rain. The same into Orangeburg and also into Manning. And a tornado watch here until 9 o'clock local time with all of these bands that are coming through. Charleston getting hammered right now all the way up into Georgetown and then Myrtle Beach. We will get both of these coming on through. But, Jim, it's raining heavily. Thankfully, though, it's moving quick. So that is the one good thing with this.
Yeah, it's just where that rotation is. That's where the rain is going to be the heaviest. So we'll get a flash flood warning or two out of that before not too long. All right, also spurring tornado warnings along its path up the East Coast. As a matter of fact, Steph started the video with that in Jacksonville. This band has moved all the way up now toward Georgetown. Several people were hurt in this tornado-warned storm near the Naval Submarine Base in Kings Bay. That's near St. Mary's, Georgia, late yesterday. You can see the damage that this is likely tornado caused as it moved through the area. All right, so it's kind of hard to imagine and a little counterintuitive perhaps, but we will have a stronger tropical storm tomorrow morning than what we have today, because this thing's going to get a little injection from the mid-latitude jet stream, okay? And we saw this with Isaias, if you remember that. We saw a lot of wind damage up toward the north and through here. It doesn't just go away. So 40 this morning, we may even get out of depression, and then potentially back up to 45, 50 miles per hour tomorrow. Not surprising that the National Hurricane Center is from the upgrade of those watches to warnings. So here it is, our vortex coming just to the south of Columbia, probably up toward the North-South Carolina border. Raleigh, you're going to get wet later on this morning. Charlotte, we're talking about bringing the rain up to South Boston, Virginia. The Outer Banks are going to be awful today. awful. And be careful out there if you're driving along, you're not familiar with this area. There's some low territory on Highway 12, the only way in, the only way out. And if you're saying, oh, let's just go up to Kitty Hawk for the day, keep in mind coming back to Hatteras Island could be very, very interesting for you, especially with what we got going on. All right, you could have some flooding there. All right, so notice again, Torcon numbers 3 that we will deal with today. This is pretty much with this lead band as it goes north. Possible flooding. We'll follow this all the way up to the northeast. 2 to 5 inches certainly possible. It's not just a quick gust of 40 to 50 miles an hour. It's these persistent winds that will continue to go on and on right through the evening hours, right through the Outer Banks, and things should wind down pretty quickly after that as winds shift out of the west. But wow, pretty high impact tropical storm here.
That is all the way at the I-95 corridor. So let's look at some details as it moves into places like North Carolina, places like Raleigh, Charlotte. Watch out for that rain and the strong winds. I mean, you already see the clouds from this thing. It's coming on in. We could see up to 2 inches of rainfall tonight, and we have flash flood watches through tomorrow morning. So let's have a look at what's happening in and around Charlotte, Concord, even down into Rock Hill here. Charlotte, we actually need the rain. Now, do we need all of it at one time? No, that's what causes the flooding. But since the start of the year, we are 1.5 inches below average on rainfall. So we can use it, and it looks like we're going to get it. We'll make up for it. The good thing is, look how fast this is coming through. Oh, wait, there's more because we have the front that is also going to be giving us some showers. How about around the Raleigh area? We're actually over 3 inches below average since the start of the year, and there's your rain. It is coming in. Cary, Chapel Hill, Greensboro, Durham, Fayetteville. Again, the good news is it's moving fast, so by this evening you're not going to have to deal with it unless you lose something like power. That could be a problem, or there's flooding, because there is a flash flood watch starting at 6 a.m. until this afternoon for about 1 to 3 inches of rain. Anywhere from Granville to Richmond to Simpson, we could see those showers. And so there's your rain. Again, 2 to 3 inches doesn't sound like a lot unless it comes all at one time. Now, how about the winds that are going to be coming in? That is what is going to be problematic, because you get the soaking rain and then you get the wind on top of that. 40, 50 mile an hour gusts we could see Raleigh, Wilson, all the way into Greenville as this whole system just rides up the I-95 corridor, and they'll start to taper off as we head into the evening hours. Now, we actually do have the potential for minor tidal flooding in areas along the north side of the Albemarle and also the Currituck Sound, including the Back Bay in Virginia, Virginia Beach area, from late, really, from Thursday into Thursday evening with that onshore flow. And look at that rain coming on in here. Again, we could see another 2 to 3 inches. Jim.
Yeah, all right, so speaking of flood watches, I get flood watches right here. We'll show you those in a second. But a pretty clear week so far in Atlantic City, New Jersey. That will soon change, even though New Jersey's been beaten up pretty good by severe storms. Tropical Storm Watch, actually warning in place here until further notice as the Northeast prepares for Elsa's impacts. For areas further inland, this is a huge blow. Another round of severe storms and rain certainly coming this week. I think we're going to have another round today before all is said and done, so we've got to watch this. So flood watches galore all the way up toward Bangor, Maine. You can see the rainfall that we're forecasting in through here. There's a lot of areas, if you were dry, you're not going to be dry anymore. Like Steph was talking about Charlotte and Raleigh with their deficits there. We're going to make up for a lot of that. And look at the likely flooding here Friday, Saturday along, again, southern New England all the way up to the coast of Maine. And we're going to watch the track. I mean, you're going to watch it move through South Carolina, probably right over the Raleigh area, come just to the south of Richmond, come over the central part of the Chesapeake Bay, continuing north to Cape May, going over Long Island, and then out toward Boston. And depending on where it is in through here, we may get a break in the tornado potential, but it may fire up again in southern New England as we work